Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is a non-spoiler review for Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife is directed by Jason Reitman and stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, and Logan Kim. A single mother and her two kids moves to a new town, and they soon discover that they have a connection to the original Ghostbusters and their grandfather's legacy. We finally got to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. It feels like forever, and I know we're talking about this movie way before you guys even get to see the film, so there is zero spoilers in this review, and if you know of any spoilers, please be respectful to others who have not seen this movie and do not comment that in the comment section. But Dustin and I are big Ghostbusters fans, as most of you grew up on the film, watching the originals, probably have at some point in our lives dressed up as a Ghostbuster for Halloween
I remember having a proton pack with a little foam light coming out of the front of it. My mom constantly tells me a story of when I came home from seeing the movie. She goes, "Oh, what was your favorite part?" "Oh, big Marshmallow Man." That's how young I was when I first saw this movie, and it has been with me my entire life.
So imagine our excitement when we got to see the very first trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife and sort of already getting, you know, seeing some Easter eggs mentioned in the trailer and going, oh my gosh, this is literally going to be following, you know, obviously with many years in between from the original. And then, of course, you guys know with the pandemic, unfortunately, the film was pushed and delayed a lot. Now we are finally getting to see, well, we saw it, but finally everybody will get to see the film that is Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I've just got to say, this film is such a fun, delightful watch. It has a lot of the elements that I was hoping to get, you know, to have because it is based on, as we talked about just previously as we were describing the film, the sort of the legacy. So we do have, as you could, you know, probably solve and deduct from the trailers, that it does follow the legacy of a certain original Ghostbuster, his family, and we have McKenna Grace playing Phoebe, who is the granddaughter to Spangler.
And I love the way that they actually made the timeline for this movie. I think it's great to place it in this time period right now, and the fact that it has a lineage, but it's not going to go back strictly to the original Ghostbusters. And I think they played that out very well. They built up our expectations, and they took a lot of the aspects of the original Ghostbusters. A lot of humor. There's still some spots that are pretty spooky and scary, and a lot of good laughs and action, and just a lot of just loving the characters that are involved in the movie.
Yeah, they certainly didn't stray away from using that nostalgia in this film, but it also doesn't rely on it, because I feel like this film still stands on its own. Also, just to note, I feel like, I don't know, like, who these days wouldn't have watched Ghostbusters, the original, but if you happen to be one of the people who have missed out on, so far, you can still watch till today, the original Ghostbusters, and you say, I want to go and watch Ghostbusters Afterlife, can you still watch and understand what is happening? Yes. Will you miss some of the Easter eggs? Obviously.
You miss a lot of Easter eggs.
But you won't understand it either. You won't be like, what does this XYZ mean?
Yeah. I mean, you won't have the nostalgia to it, of course, because you weren't a part of it. You haven't seen it from the original. But I mean, this movie is chock filled with Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg, and just so many parts where you're just like, oh my gosh, I get that reference.
And Dustin spoke a little earlier about lineage, and I think that's really interesting because there was a short message from Jason Reitman before our screening of the film started, that obviously his father, Ivan Reitman, worked on the original, so he said it's a film about a family by a family, and that couldn't be more true, and that's why I thought it was such a delightful, fun watch film, because it wasn't just like Ghostbusters and busting ghosts. It was also about a family who is having to make that very difficult decision of relocating to a whole new town, living in this very foreign home. They don't really have any sort of connection to home. Yeah, it's a kind of a creepy home. So, you know, having to deal with all of that life plus the elements of the paranormal. So that's really interesting to watch. I think one of my favorite things to watch in this film, aside from doing all the little, keen Easter egg spotting, is McKenna Grace, who plays Phoebe. She is stellar in this, and she's so young, but you've seen her in many films already, like I, Tanya, The Handmaid's Tale, Captain Marvel. She plays young Captain Marvel. She plays young Sabrina in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I am sure I'm missing 50 million things. She was also in a movie,
Gifted, with Chris Evans.
Yeah, she's working so much, and she is just brilliant in this. She actually, in my opinion, really carries the film, and it's
she does.
Her character's charm and her incredible talent that I think she is the connective tissue of, potentially, I guess, setting up for if they want to do more of these Ghostbusters for like the next generation.
Oh, I'm pretty
connecting it to the past as well, making it a really cohesive watch, and that's what I liked about having her in the film.
And I think they've really done an excellent job on setting up this movie, on being able to set it up for what we've always wanted in another Ghostbusters movie, which is really the passing of the torch to a next generation. Because you can only do the original Ghostbusters for so long before you have to do that. And I think they do a great job on making it feel a lot more natural to pass off to this younger generation. I think that this was a lot of fun, and it really did scratch that Ghostbuster nostalgia itch.
Yes. And we also are introduced to a couple of new characters in this film as well. We've got Paul Rudd, who plays the teacher, essentially like the substitute, like summer school teacher, who happens to also just be like a big history buff for when it comes to Ghostbusters. So further connecting everybody to the past, not knowing in the film of like his who he is talking to, who is Phoebe, that how directly she is actually connected to a Ghostbuster. We also have Logan Kim, who plays Phoebe's classmate in this film, who their chemistry together is just so much fun to watch. Like, you could tell they just meshed really well on set. The chemistry and the friendship was already there, so it felt really natural to watch them. And this kid is funny. He's so funny, so talented. I cannot believe this is literally his first feature film.
Yeah.
It feels like he's been acting for since he was born. He's a natural on camera, and I expect that we are going to see Logan Kim popping up in more films very, very shortly after this movie. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the criticisms we do have for this film, because while we enjoyed it very much, there's some little things that I thought, that's interesting. And then having talked to Dustin after we watched the film, we both felt the same way.
Yeah. Honestly, the nostalgia and a lot of the Easter eggs are very enjoyable. However, I do believe, in my personal opinion, there were a few times throughout the movie where I feel like they sacrificed substance for scratching that nostalgia itch, to be able to put in this reference or this person or this name or this event just so they could have it in there, and not really because it fit well or because it was really a good way to tell the story. But honestly, they didn't go too overboard. There's only a few moments where I'm kind of like, I feel like they should have done something a little bit different. We've already got the nostalgia itch done. But that was something that I feel like they went maybe a little bit over the line with.
Yeah, just towed the line just a little bit. Another thing I thought, and this is Ghostbusters, so naturally we're going to have ghosts and spirits and, supernatural or paranormal stuff in the film. And a lot of, I would say specifically to the main characters, their reactions to it is very mild, with the exception of one character that I won't name so I don't give anything away, even though I think you do see it in the trailer anyways. But for the most part, a lot of them seemed so matter of fact.
Oh, hey, look, a ghost.
Encounter a ghost. With Phoebe, it kind of makes sense because she's got a very specific personality. She is super, super smart. So the way she kind of, I feel like, in the way assesses certain situations, kind of detaches her emotion from say like a reaction you and I would have as seeing a ghost. But yeah,
I believe that there should have been a lot more screaming going on, a lot more running, frightened, scared, terrified. There was only really one moment that really hit it on the head, and it's, of course, was Paul Rudd, who just it was like, well, aren't you going to do? And then the moment happened, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I probably would have done.
Yeah.
So Paul Rudd is the one who actually does hit that on the head very well. But I wish that there just would have been more moments like that throughout the movie, where when people saw a ghost, they would react like I think normal people would, which is with a loud, high-pitched scream and running very fast with wet pants.
If you feel like you can even move your legs at that point,
Exactly.
I've seen something like that. We've all had those moments like you're like, run, work, why, work, work legs. So with that said, we enjoyed it very much. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into our rating here. And if you want to check our rating system, it's a little bit different. It's just basically written in the video description below. I'm going to give this movie a catch it opening night. I feel like it's been so long since we've been waiting for a fun, cohesive Ghostbusters film. And this was it for me. I really had, criticism aside, I had such a fun time watching the film to kind of be back in that ghost-busting world, and I really find McKenna Grace just so much fun to watch on film, so that is my rating.
I really enjoyed this movie as well. It scratched a lot of nostalgia. There were some moments that kind of did pull me out every now and again, so I'm going to give it a check it out. It is still a lot of fun. Definitely go see it in theaters, because that is what this movie is meant to be seen in. So that is my rating for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
And of course, there's so much more we want to talk to you guys about this film. We definitely held a lot back due to just the possibility of spoilers. So be sure to look out for our spoiler review, which won't be out until the film is out, unfortunately. There's no way we can put that out before it even comes out. But it will be available for our patrons, so make sure you check that out. The link is in the video description for our Patreon, and then you will see the video pop up when we're allowed to put a spoiler review up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment your thoughts, your anticipation for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
But no spoilers.
No spoilers. I'm gonna delete them if I see them. I don't usually delete comments, but like I don't want, or at least I would hide it until, I don't know if I can do it on YouTube.
Yes, but please
yeah,
do not do that. I mean, there's a lot of good spoilers in this movie. Please don't put any of them down below.
Even if you think people know, just if you think maybe, don't do it.
Yeah.
So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.